Well, didn't he phone?
No, I don't think so. I thought maybe you would know what had happened to him.
God, they really killed Bill, huh? I hope they didn't kill. I hope they didn't kill him. I hope he's just like locked in somebody's basement or something. Hello, I'm Joel Sharpton, one half of the Articulate Coven, and this is my watch of the OG supernatural soap opera, Dark Shadows. We are currently watching episode 48, and I do want to remind you that we'll have 3 episodes up today on YouTube, and if you're watching these there, then you can already access episode 51, 52, and 53 over on our Patreon. And thanks to everybody who has joined. We've had quite a few new patrons in the last month or so, and I want to say thank you to everybody who's joined us. This is a lot of fun, and it's all the more fun when we can do more fun stuff. So thanks for making that possible. Right now, let's get into episode 48. Find out what happened to Bill Malloy. Are we going to discover the fate of our dear old Bill?
Not only for me, but for a troubled boy.
There's David, our first actor for this episode. It's been a hot minute since we've seen young David here. I don't know, man. It was back, I guess, when we resolved the when Burke let him off the hook about the brake valve.
You really are proud of it, aren't you? Uh-huh. So was your father when I showed it to him.
You showed it to my father?
Yes, last night. David, what's the matter? David!
Could see that coming. I don't know if you remember this, Victoria, but David does not care for his father. If he was clearly proud of the painting, he did not want Pops to see it. I can guarantee you that. Could have called that one. Is it just me? Or is the title a little straighter on the screen there? I think that may be an upgraded title.
You took it without asking, and that's the same as stealing. You told me that when I borrowed your letter.
That's not the same.
Sure it is. You have different rules for grown-ups and kids, sure.
Now that's enough, David.
You're a thief.
Boy, I mean, David's misunderstanding here. He's wrong. You know, Victoria was trying to do a nice thing with this painting. But I do have to remind myself that feeling is accurate as a child. Like, it does feel that way, that there are different rules for grown-ups and children, and not just that there are certain things that kids can't do and certain things that grown-ups can, but literally certain rules only matter if you're a child. Absolutely feels that way. You got to be, I mean, look, kids need guardrails too, but you do have to be aware of that sort of thing.
And if you want to tell Aunt Elizabeth, go ahead and tell her. I don't care.
Tell me what, David?
Oh, tell her what, David? I love it when a kid is like called on his bluff like that.
We were discussing the American Revolution. We had a disagreement.
I see.
Always
covering for that boy.
Well, then maybe you'd like to open this.
What is it?
For you. It was, I don't know, it was delivered from Collinsport.
It is for me?
Mm-hmm. Got your name on it, see? David Collins, Collinwood.
Okay. There we go. All right. First of all, I want to acknowledge that is a great outfit that Elizabeth is in, Elizabeth Stoddard. But I also want to call out a couple of pieces of feedback that I got that I thought were honestly relevant. So I had asked in the last several episodes, like, because we keep finding out more and more people in town that seemingly were all hung up, and maybe still are hung up on Elizabeth Stoddard. And I was just like, what's the appeal? She seems so milquetoast for most of this show. Okay, so I had a great couple of pieces of feedback. First of all, this comes from Bill Verne on YouTube. Thank you, Bill. You've been watching these recently and given a lot of great feedback. I appreciate you. Part of Elizabeth's allure is that she is played by Joan Bennett. She was one of the first, if not the first, movie stars to anchor a soap. The newspapers were full of it at the time. Joan was a major film star, although not a superstar, so it makes sense that the writers and showrunner decided to give her a swarm of suitors. And I've already answered this to you, Bill, but to everybody listening, that makes perfect sense. I wasn't familiar with her film work. I didn't know Joan Bennett's work, outside of this anyway. And I missed that entirely. I missed that entire idea. So thanks for filling me in, Bill. That was very helpful. But then also, I got this from Kevin. He's one of those new patrons that I mentioned. Kevinated on YouTube. Kevin says, I'm enjoying your reactions, but I must challenge your attitude with regard to Elizabeth. Men are loyal to her and protective because she's stunningly beautiful, gracious to them, never mind the occasional condescension, and obviously suffered a terrible tragedy considering she hasn't left Collinwood in 18 years. They are the Queen's stalwart knights. And I had not considered it in that aspect either. You know, in a small town like Collinsport, everyone is dependent on the Collins family anyway. And Elizabeth has kept the ships running on time, so to speak, and literally by maintaining the business over these last 20 years, 18 years since whatever tragedy happened. And she does do it with grace, right? She is that kind of like old money that, you know, builds libraries and museums instead of trying to ruin the world faster. So thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Bill, both for that feedback. Absolutely warranted. And I think you guys are spot on. So she came in all dressed up here. I had to acknowledge it.
Now you can tell us all where we're going. Your friend Burke from Mr. Devlin.
It's a strange present.
It's great. I have to go thank him.
Oh, not so fast, David.
Yeah, first of all, don't run with a crystal ball. I think that's a good lesson for everybody there. Also, like, it's the second present that Burke's given the Collins and Stoddard children, huh? Interesting.
He sent it to me. Please don't make me send it back. It's not fair.
No, I guess it isn't. All right, go make your phone call.
I mean, in the modern day, I'd check it maybe for listening devices. but yeah, you got to let the kid. I mean, you take that up with Burke, right? If you don't want him sending any more gifts. But the kid was obviously really excited about it, and David needs things to be excited about in life, other than the destruction of his father.
I'll make another one. Only this time I'll hide it until I can give it to you. You promise? Okay. Bye.
Hi, David.
Hi. You want to see what I just got?
Sure.
All right. Is that a full boat? Let's see. We got Elizabeth and Victoria and David and now Joe. No, we've got probably Carolyn upstairs, I'm guessing.
But you can't guess what it is.
It's the biggest marble in the world, right?
Crystal ball. Haven't you ever seen one?
It's a good dad joke, Joe Haskell. I like it.
Oh, didn't you know?
Know what?
Well, Mr. Malloy hasn't been in at all today.
Well, why not?
I don't know.
Well, didn't he phone?
No, I don't think so. I thought maybe you would know what had happened to him.
God, they really killed Bill, huh? I hope they didn't kill. I hope they didn't kill him. I hope he's just like locked in somebody's basement or something.
You don't suppose something really did happen to him, do you?
I don't know, Joe. I don't know.
We don't know what, but we do know something happened.
Mr. Collins saw Mr. Malloy last night.
Yes.
But Mr. Collins said...
What did Carolyn tell you she overheard old Raj saying last night, huh? Something about sometimes you have to do terrible things to protect yourself?
Mrs. Stoddard, hasn't Mr. Malloy ever gone off before?
No. This is the first time.
Yeah, I said it a couple episodes ago. Like, Bill Malloy is a straight edge, man. There's no way he skips work without telling anybody where he's going. Like, Bill Malloy doesn't go on a bender, you know?
Tells other things, too.
David, you're a phony.
I am not. You think you're going to marry Carolyn, don't you?
Well, sure.
But you're not. You're never going to marry her. Never. Crystal Ball told me.
This dude. David is a real crummy kid, man.
She's going to marry a friend of mine.
No kidding. What's your friend's name?
Burke Devlin.
Joe, after you mail these, you will make inquiries about Mr. Malloy for me, won't you?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you hear anything, phone me at once.
Right, of course.
Thank you, Joe. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Stoddard.
Boy, nobody dismisses you quite like Elizabeth Stoddard, huh? And goodbye. Thank you, Joe. Goodbye. That shall be all. Skedaddle.
Well, didn't you tell me you hadn't seen Bill Malloy since early yesterday afternoon? Well, I've just learned differently, and I'd like an explanation from you. No, I have no intention of discussing it on the telephone. I want you here and now.
Get him. We're close to done with this episode, by the way, and we're still at 4 actors.
If they would ask me, I could tell them.
All right, David. Go and look in your crystal ball and tell me where Mr. Malloy is, and then let's get this finished.
I don't have to look. I looked already. He's dead.
David, that's a terrible thing to say.
And that's not all. It told me something else. He was killed by someone.
David, stop it.
And do you want to know who he was killed by? I'll bet you do.
All right, tell me.
My father.
I saw that one coming. All right. Decent episode to start this arc. I'm very excited about 49 and 50 because I think this is going interesting places. All right. If they fix the text in the opening credits, they did not fix it here. It's still very slanted. And like, what in the world? It's like the projector fell over or something. Anyway, we'll be back soon, wherever you're watching this, with episode 49. So stay tuned. And if you're watching these on YouTube, don't forget 51, 52, 53 are all going to be up on our Patreon right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can go check out articulatecoven.com/join. $2 or more a month gets you access to everything we do early and ad-free. Thanks to everybody for watching these, and we'll be back soon.